Everyone, I'm T-Junkie, and welcome back to, I guess this really isn't a part of a tutorial. This is really just a showcase of what Unity can actually do. As when you're aware, I've talked about it a couple of times before, I have quite a lot of projects. If I go into my software creation, my game creation files, these are the projects I have. Now, some of these are actually completely different, like the 6-hour project has actually not started yet. I set it all up as a challenge to myself, but I never actually went ahead and actually done anything with it. I have attachments, city builder, coin collector, fast game, diffuser. And basically what this video is about is showcasing what you can actually do in Unity. Now if you're unsure on how to do some things, the best way I've found personally is to create a project just dedicated to creating that one thing. Here's my teleporter test. Now in this test you can see I've made, if you ever watched the program Stargate, this is pretty much what it is. Pardon me. So I click play and they're both deactivated. Walk up. Oh, it's not working. I wonder if I disabled it. Oh, is it? This is not. Is it? There we go. There we go. I've got on the top left, I've got like a little address bar, and I've gave each of these its own address. Now I want to dial this Stargate here. I believe I actually messed this up before the end. But this is, so if I type in which one was the name of this place? P4C970, okay. I believe that's this one here. Now Stargate 2 is sorry, P67UHY. So I go P67UHY, and then there you go, it's automatically activated. I did have it where it did activate that one as well, but yeah, this here was just an idea I had. Can I create Stargates that worked, that come up with a little text area that you type in the text box and it load up? This originally started out as just some simple teleporters that I actually incorporated into the project. In our little coin collector tutorial, I added this, a similar idea to this, except you just pushed a button and it teleported you. That's how this actually started out. You pushed a button and these would activate and then just walk through and it would teleport you straight away. And then I used that in the tutorial, but then I started editing this, saying can I make multiple Stargates with different addresses and this, that and the other, and see if I can make it do that. And that's just basically, this whole project is just based around that one idea. I also have a bit of Unity again. Many of you might have seen before, I have an attachments here. Attach this one here. It's just a weapon that I quickly made. It's blocky and everything, but that's not the point of it. If I click play, you see the weapon right here. Now you can rotate it by pushing buttons, and you can stop it in a certain place. I'm going to stop it right there, and then you can turn off the grip, have a short stock, short barrel, no scope, and a drum magazine. It's just a quick attachments thing. This is going to become a much more in-depth customization menu that we're going to be creating in the FPS tutorial I'll be creating later on. This FPS tutorial here I was starting, I think. See, some of these I've completely forgot what they're like. Oh yeah. I was creating an FPS tutorial here. Yeah. I remember what this was. If I click play on this, when it loads, there you go. Got an assault rifle, crosshair, weapon barb. And just loads and loads of trees if I think I might be lost. So I'm gonna find where I am. Oh, here we are. I think I was originally making the map and then I stopped like halfway through because then I had to record a tutorial video. But this is some insane amount of grass I've added to this level. And these using just free asset packages that Unity comes with, or you can just download off the asset store for free. I keep running into trees. As you can tell, the water looks great, but it's like just water. But yeah, this is the tutorial I was doing. I hadn't got any shooting or the HUD or anything set up right, but this was the project I was starting. Maybe, I believe I've shown another tutorial. This is basically just adding multiplayer networking. Yeah, I'm going to continue. Because this is an old project. I do have many errors with this project, actually. Many errors, like the skybox for one of them. But if I go to my scenes and then my main menu scene, and click play. Yeah, I've got my character here. That you see character, you can just delete it, or you can click the stats. I've got sounds on the buttons when you push them. You got experience here. You've got rank. You've got a level. You've got how many kills, how many times you died. You change your name, your items are found, and how many shots you've taken. You can even change your image in your character stats, and it saves that image. And you can go into options. You've got your audio, graphics, and gameplay. I mean, it's a very basic UI, but you've also got you can host a game or to join a game. But if there's no servers, it will actually create one. And in here, I actually do have the shooting involved. So this is an old FPS controller that was back in the late days. You know how the new ones have weapon barb and all those sounds. But this one doesn't. See, now this is all online, by the way. This is all networked online. And you can aim and you can pull the trigger and you can see the health go. And when it's dead, if you look carefully, you can also see around the crosshair there's a hit marker. I just leveled up, so I just had a ding. Let's see how many more I can catch. And I can't level up. There's no sprinting on this one either, because how old the FPS controller is. If you look at him, it says press E to trade. I've got ye old trader here. And I can buy wood, stone and iron. This is bugged out because I can't get rid of this now. But if you look back there, you can also see M4s that I've got set up. You can see some magazines over there that I've got set up. This was just a test, because I could have a friend join me if anywhere in the world or on a local area network, and he'd join me and he could shoot and see I've shot them and everything. This is the first ever experience I had with multiplayer networking. There's bugs like the skybox and everything, but there wasn't those bugs until the newer versions of Unity. Now, Yeah, you can create little projects and little games, but what about applications? Well, I was creating an application as well. So here is actually an application. If I click main, scene, click play, there is actually, let's start from the beginning. Let's go to splash screen 1. There we go. Then we click play. I have a splash screen, which is skip button down here. I can press, and after 5 seconds it switches to my logo, and after 5 seconds it switches to here. Now I can connect to the network. I can see the team roster. I see the player profile, what they've got in their computer. I can go to settings. I can choose my background. So if I want a different background, like an anime background, I can. I've got an anime background now. Now if I want to go to a better one, actually, let's go for a Mustang. Now if I click connect, I put in a username and password. I can log in, it connects to the network, and I'm in the network now. I can do some team chat, and it comes up team chat. There's no announcements yet because this isn't a work in progress application. I can see matches that we've played against the teams, and if it's a win or a loss or whatever. I've only added a small portion basically just to test out that, because all this is done by database. You know the achievements database that we created for our tutorial in Coin Collector? This is exactly the same fundamentals I used to make this. And I've got plays, which has cache plays, which I've got no plays in here at all. I've got settings, which has got the same settings as before, and I could disconnect. Bear in mind, this is also version dependent, so if I change the version of this, any people with the older version of this application won't be able to connect to the newer version network. So everybody has to have the same version to be able to connect. So if I go into the network script, so I've got the match database right here, match variables. And now if I load up a couple of scripts actually, so if I go match variables right here, see, exactly the same way as we created the achievements, exactly the same way. And by using the achievements, but in the script, the way tongue tied, using the achievement script in a different way, you can have different results. I went from achievement system to a match display system in no time at all. And if I click match database, I can easily add the matches in exactly the way I did before. And if I say it's a loss, it glows red in the score, and it says that I've got a loss. And if I've got a win, it lights up green. And all I have to do is just keep adding these in, and all the match list will just keep populating. My splash screens is just one splash screen, and I've got an escape button. And there you go. If I just press the keycode escape, it changes the scene to the next screen along, the next one along. So it'd be splash screen 2, and then splash screen 2 when I click here will be the main menu. And this is a application. I've also disabled some things, like if I go into build settings and in the player settings, if you look, I have resolution and presentation. I have set a specific height and width, and I've also disabled resizable, and I've only have 4:3 because that's a 4:3 resolution. And disabled that defaults full screen, so it's turned off. And when you launch this as a standalone, it launches straight away. There's none of this little menu before. Now, if you create an application that you want a certain size or whatever, like this one here, because I want it running in the background, similar to how, like, say, TeamSpeak does, that's the way I did it before. Now, Test 1109, I believe, is actually a game I'm creating. If I click play, I have got a location bar at the top here. I've got my name, I've got my level, I've got my health, I've got my mana, I've got my stamina. I've also got an experience bar at the bottom here. And I believe if I push I have an inventory. If I hover over it, I can see a little display window, which is not displaying anything yet, but I have different items, and I can sort of drag this inventory around. That's an iron, gold, and wood sword. I could hide it again, but this main here, this game I was creating, if I go to main menu and click play, it is Farshade. It is Farshade. Now there are some projects which I have not used in a long time. There are some projects I've not even thought about using. There's some software ideas here. There's some super secret projects, which I can't remember what that was. Some new NGUI. Some NGUI, which is upgrade, which is Unity's. You have two systems in Unity for displaying things on the screen. You have, like, menus, I mean, and HUD. You have GUI, which is what we've been using, like GUI skin and GUI draw texture, which you see here. And there's also UI, which is the new one that Unity uses, which I will be doing tutorials on in a later stage. See, I've not opened this one in a long time, so I'm not entirely sure if this one actually works with the new Unity. But it's always nice to test, isn't it? There we go. If I could play, what happens? Nothing. I think I'll go select the scene. Well, I've not got anything in here by the looks of it. But I can actually show some examples. Scenes. See, you move your mouse. This is just an example that was in here. You can't put it in there. This is just an example that you've got. I didn't create this example, but this is one example. And I believe one last project to close this out. Actually, yeah, let's use a city builder one. So this city builder, I was creating a while ago, and I actually took parts out of this one as well. This is my method on how to actually discover and create these sort of things. Really, is if I'm unsure about how to create something, like creating the coin collector tutorial, like I am, and first time I ever made teleporters. Well, rather than waste an hour trying to figure it out on video, I'd create a project, and I'd literally just go out and try and create just teleporters in a project. And when I succeeded, I then do a tutorial on how I did that in the video, and you'll see it being added to the actual game we're creating. It's the same with the achievement system. I created an achievement system a long time ago. I actually refined that. The achievement system I had before was terrible. I click play. Yeah, if I hover over capsule, crate, sphere. If I click build, our roads, paths, tracks, money, level, experience up here. If I click menu, there's nothing at the moment. Population statistics don't work. But I use this highlighting when I put my mouse cursor over one and it highlights it. It was basically I actually added that in the tutorial, I believe, a long time ago on how to highlight objects on hover. It's basically this highlights the objects on hover. I believe I used the same method. I used a stripped down version of this when using like buttons and everything. I use how if the mouse is over it, display this message. If the message is displayed and the mouse is over the button and you push the button, it then activates. You've seen it in the coin collector tutorial. But I learned how to do that sort of stuff from just creating little projects. This was going to turn into a game, but in the end I just left it as a little project. And the reason why I create projects, the complete reason why I actually create projects in the first place, and I don't delete them after I figure them out, is because then later on down the line, 6 months, a week, a year, I can go back to those projects and see the code on how I did it, and then incorporate it into another project or a game I'm currently making. So yeah, Unity, you can use it to create anything really that you think you want to create. You can create software applications, you can create games, you can use it as basically just projects. You don't actually have to create a game with it, you just use it as projects. You can do it for showcasing attachments. You can even build a fully 3D detailed house in the game and just use it as like a modeling program if you really want. You can even create a logo and then have a camera pan around that logo to create your own, and then record it when it's happening with animations and that, and just record it, and you can record it all turning and everything yourself. And you can create a logo that way, or you can create a showcase that way. It's entirely up to you. I hope this has give you a little delve into what you can actually create in this engine. I would recommend it for people that want to sink their teeth into game creation. If you want a slightly more challenging experience, I recommend Unreal 4, but all round good package, programming, support, updates, everything, go Unity. I'd recommend that one for new starters and everything. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I've been TJ, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.